great halls of their house, there are assembled three who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher. Their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicki Fisher, and our Batman, the master of tools, gadgets, and all things mechanical, our mild-mannered, soon-to-be billionaire, Alan Danvers. Their mission: to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team.
Welcome to the Garage Heroes in Training Podcast. I'm going to be one of the hosts for this episode. My name is Bill. Who else is hosting?
I'm Vicki.
That's true. Technically, you're hosting as well, sir.
Then I'm Tim.
You are. And we might even have Ben drop in. You never know. I think this is a Dominate with Dawson night, and he may pop in early. So we'll see. Who knows? Anyway, we started this podcast trying to get people to enjoy driving their car, enjoy racing their car, enjoy high performance driving. And we did a little bit of all of that this weekend, didn't we? Didn't we?
We did.
Indeed.
We sucked in Tim Bocane here for a sample of racing, and I look forward to hearing what he has to say about it.
Tim, you got your first squeeze of the lemon, shall we say?
I did.
Right.
I did. It's funny. I put up just a couple of small cryptic things yesterday on social media on the ride home. Never texting and driving or
no, not at all.
Never.
Nope.
But on those times where I had to pull over and stop and do the usual thing, I did post a few, tidbits. I left a few crumbs for friends to tell them where I was. My phone hasn't stopped all day. My phone hasn't stopped all day.
They're like, you did what?
Yeah, mostly to hear what my experience was, and some to bend my ear about the weather, and it's funny that the word that keeps creeping into the conversation was, when it came to the weather, epic.
Epic. You had it all.
I've driven in snow. I've driven in, where light snow, flurries, things like that. I've driven in some freezing rain, a little sleet. I've never driven in ice pellets on the track. And I've certainly never driven in the level of mud that we saw.
There was so much.
But I've never driven in all of those weather conditions in one racing stint.
Right.
So it was a lot of fun. It was challenging. It was frustrating and exhilarating all at the same time.
Sounds like a good weekend then.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was the best. Right?
So we don't have to twist your arm too hard to come out with us again?
No, I'll do it again.
Okay. All right, very well.
I'll even say please and thank you.
No worries. No worries. We can definitely do that. So
on top of all that, the quality of the racing, quality of the driving was I drove a lot of yellow laps on Saturday.
Oh my gosh, there was so much yellow.
Double yellow. But the times that we were up to pace were exciting. But Sunday's conditions were certainly, I dare I say perfect. Sunday afternoon, it was cool. It was perfect. The track was dry. It was grippy. It was grabby. It had warmed up enough where it was comfortable. Sunday was a whole different deal, and there was a lot of high level driving and a lot of high level racing, and a lot of high level racing craft going on throughout the race.
So Tim,
in my stint, I don't know you guys.
Yep. No, I agree. So Tim, just in case people aren't familiar, what's your driving and high performance driving and racing background, just to make sure everybody's.
So I've been involved in motorsports for about 5 years now. I'm an MSF level 2 instructor with Bill. I instruct primarily with NASA Great Lakes and I've done some other organizations, Chin, and plan to do a few more. I do a lot of endurance racing. I do a lot of HPD events, and I do a lot of instructing on every NASA Great Lakes weekend. You'll find me on the grid. Currently this year, my role is HPDE 1 to 2 check rides. I do the check rides or the check off rides.
So given that, I mean, you also are an instructor of instructors with NASA. Yeah. So, I mean, it's right, not like
in
you're
in the MSF level 2 program that NASA, gratuitous plug to Eric Myers, the MSF level 2 program that Eric Myers designed is designed around mentors and sorry, I've got to turn that off. Designed around mentors and instructor candidates. And I happen to be one of the mentors, and I help Eric along, and we talk a lot about things to do as far as mentoring, and Jeff Henderson as well, mentoring new instructors and helping them through the MSF Level 2 program to become full-fledged instructors, and then help support the instructor group as a whole throughout the rest of the season.
So I think you've got a certain amount of panache as far as driving and instructing and everything, and you've seen a lot of stuff. The two things that Lemons gets picked on, and I think a lot of them are very dated references to way back when is the people there don't know how to drive, and the cars are slow or just piles of junk.
And the other one is sometimes that people from the outside just assume is that Lemons does not take their safety seriously.
So Lemons absolutely, unequivocally takes their safety seriously. And rightfully so, right? Motorsports racing is dangerous to its core. And in my work life, I am a safety professional, right? I fly airplanes for a living. I teach people how to fly airplanes for a living. I manage pilots. My sole purpose in life for decades has been safety. And so I appreciate a good safety culture. Lemons, at least at the pit race that we did, Lemon's safety culture was excellent. Excellent. I actually was after a pit stop, when I went to at the exit of the pit out, they checked your safety equipment and they made me come back in because my shoulder harness wasn't over my Hans.
Mm-hmm. It was twisted, wasn't it? Or it was
twisted, right? Yeah. And so I said, "Well, do it for me." And he said, "I'm sorry, I can't get off the track." Mm-hmm. Very matter of fact. And I said, "Okay, here we go." So I appreciate that because, in an effort to go out and race, sometimes you can miss things, and they in a very unbiased and unbashful way took me right off the track and said, "Go get your stuff fixed."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no debate, no question,
right.
no.
Right, yeah, there was no argument. It was just okay. You're right.
No attitude, no anything. Just
no nothing.
Get your stuff fixed.
If there was anything as far as attitude goes, it was helpful.
Sure,
helpful attitude, not a poor attitude.
What about the weaponry, the vehicles?
So lots of sleepers, lots of stuff that looks like a pile of junk. Lots of stuff that looks like a pile of junk until you look a little bit under the skirt. Or peek under the tent. You get a peek under the tent, so they keep it clean, right? PG show, right? Mm-hmm. Get a peek under the tent of some of those cars, and you will be floored at the technology that people are bringing to the track. In our garage alone, I was just, I was in awe of the skill, the savvy, and the technical expertise that people were showing and bringing.
And
it was great. It was really, really cool garage, by the way.
Yeah, it was fun. We had a good time. We'll talk about that a bit later, I'm sure. And then driving wise, would you classify most of the drivers or all the drivers? Or
So Saturday was hard for me to gauge. Of course, the start was, I think there was 110 or over 110 cars entered.
Yeah, I think it was. I think there are more registered, but I think 110 started.
Okay, so a little bit of mayhem at the start, a little bit of traffic, and a lot of red mist in the beginning. And so.
Well, that's when you win an endurance race, Tim. I mean, that first
always in the beginning.
Yeah,
always in the beginning.
Right. Turn one down the front straight at PittRace is totally where it's made on Saturday morning.
Yep,
right,
absolutely.
Right. Yeah. No, lots of cars. And of course, everybody starts with the highest of hopes, and then sometimes those hopes are trashed with metal shavings in your oil pan. But,
by second turn,
right. By turn 3, it's over for the weekend. But
can happen.
So there was a lot of that. As far as what I saw a lot of people doing all the right things. I saw a vast improvement from Saturday to Sunday.
Well, the weather got better too. But Saturday was rough.
So the cars were up at pace also, and so people were far less terrified because there was no ice, no freezing rain, ice pellets,
hail,
right? You name mud clods. I mean, there wasn't that on Sunday, so people could really concentrate on racecraft as opposed to just keeping the car on the track. Period. End of story.
Okay.
So yeah. I have to be honest, Bill. I was duly impressed. Like many people, I had a different impression of what I was going to find. I'm sure there was those individuals that had little to no experience, but I have to be honest, they did a great job. They hit it well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's our lemons-ish spiel. It's often picked on and talked down to, and that's really not the way it is. The $500 is a one aspect of the series trying to keep it from becoming a spending war and a speed war,
right?
And
right.
But that doesn't mean they're junk,
right? And to be honest, the drivers that I got to interact with all had a ton of driving experience in all kinds of different motorsports. So it was not, like I said, there were some of those student teams, but they were, I mean, even they were courteous, even they were careful, even they were,
they knew what they could do, and they knew what they couldn't do, and they didn't try to cross those two lines.
No, they definitely didn't operate in the gray.
No,
they definitely didn't operate in the gray.
Right. All right. Well, we've talked about it all the time. Where did we go?
We went to Pittsburgh International Raceway, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Yes, it's one of our favorite tracks. It has pretty much every topography that's there, the elements of the racing. It kind of covers a lot. And your elevations and your curves and your S's, fantastic straightaways, great garages. It's a beautiful complex.
The new building is fantastic.
Yes.
The new building is nice.
It is. It's one of our favorite places to go. Highly recommended. 10 for 10.
So, Tim, when did your real life allow you to arrive?
I arrived Friday at about 1 o'clock, I think, maybe 1:30.
Did you get any practice time in?
I did not get any practice time in because of the weather, and then they red flagged the last practice session of the day.
We end up having one practice session in. What happened to the car exactly?
Well, Vicki, you were out in it, so
Vicki, you were plowing the track.
That's right. I believe she was cutting the grass some of the time.
Yes. I had gone out for the second stint, I believe, for practice day, and literally there was a dump of heavy, wet snow. I had gone off the track, and then the car was not acting as it should, and we found out that the ECU got wet. So we spent our evening working on the ECU, which it did get straightened out. We did end up protecting the ECU, and now the car ran fine the next day.
Yeah. So Tim, you were present for our inaugural race with our new car. Would you like to describe it a little bit?
It's a, what year is it, Bill?
93.
93 Civic. That is fun as hell to drive. Well-behaved little car with very light control inputs are required for very big control changes. And so the steering is really sensitive and nice, and the car is really well behaved. Actually, I was really surprised just how well sorted it was. No ABS, no nannies. So it's a real testament to driving and a real challenge to keep the tires nice and keep the brakes from giving up. But a thoroughly enjoyable little race car with a great cage built by you all, and really nicely put together. Very nice. Golf clap.
Yay, golf clap.
Well, we would be far from accurate if we didn't say that we got a ton of help from all our friends, so that they know who they are. And Miss Vicki, you had trepidation of a front wheel drive car, and
I did.
And
well, as everyone knows, my first experience with a front wheel drive car was horrible, horrendous, and coming to find out the reason for that horrible, horrendous trip was a very loose car with oblong bushings that ended up in it. So the car did not sit right. And I've been terrified to get into... You were
also much earlier in your driving career at that point, too.
And I was quite terrified about getting into a front wheel drive, and I was really working up to it. But I'm glad that the conditions were the way they were on Saturday, because it really allowed me to focus on the track and not so much speed, and just learning about the car and really kind of playing with it a little bit. But, it behaved well. I was really, again, not really focusing on speed as much as learning how to drive this car. And I liked it. I really did. It's different. The inputs and, stepping on the gas. I always had to keep telling myself it's a pull, not a push. And once that was doing that in the turns, especially, then, I had to rewire my brain on how to drive it.
So Vicki relinquished first stint for the not many times. She tends to like getting out there early. So
I did.
Alan,
did not go. Yeah, he did.
Alan went first. Then Tim, you went second.
Yep.
You were laying down some good laps out there. I think you did about 2 hours, 1 hour 45.
He got all the weather, literally.
Yes.
When we say it was Mother Nature and the end of winter throwing whatever was left in the bucket out on Pitt Raceway, because
it did everything that you don't want to happen at a race in the 2.5 hours that I drove.
It was just on Tim's stint, our first guest of the year.
I'll have a little sun with that sleet. I'll have a little snow with that rain.
Yep, sleet, snow, rain, blowing sideways hail.
Yep.
Yes.
At one point, the hail was coming. The wind was blowing, and the hail, as I was going up the hill through turn 5, was hitting me in the face. So I had to close my visor because it was hitting me.
Right.
Yeah.
I was on the radio with Tim, and he sounded so defeated, and I could just imagine he's just like, oh, geez, what next? And something else would happen with the weather.
That's right.
Well, we'd get up to pace. We'd do a half or 3/4 of a lap, and then it would be yellow flag.
There was so many yellow flags. There were so many cars. I know in my stint alone, I would have to say probably about 9 cars had gone off.
It was tough. It was tough out there.
Tough conditions.
I lost count.
So many.
Okay. All right. So we merged. Let's see. Vicki went next. How was your stint, my dear?
It was dry, sunny, and everything Tim's was not.
No, it wasn't. On Saturday?
Bad. Yeah, it wasn't bad. Honestly, I caught a window where it was dry for me. The track was damp, but it was not weather.
You made up for it on Friday.
Yeah. Friday, okay. I got my big horrendous.
I finished the day on Friday. I think everything went pretty well. Got my head out of my butt from the last time I was driving, so we think we figured it out. We've been talking to just about everybody. Speaking of talking to everybody, Mr. Dawson, welcome aboard, sir.
It's Dawson has arrived.
Hey, how's it going?
You weren't at the event, but we were talking about our pit race before we do some dominating with Dawson's.
Yeah, I was hearing about that. It looked like you had a fun snowy time on Friday, Vicki.
It was horrible. It killed my ECU for the evening, but we got it straightened out.
That's right.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. It was a little.
And Tim called it. Everybody's
right.
like ready to rip that car apart. Tim's like, I think it's ECU. I think it's the ECU. And he pulled it apart, and literally we dumped it, and just the water started dripping out of it. It was horrible.
Was it good? Was it good after that?
Yeah, it was good.
We were lucky.
You know what the best part about it, Ben, was? I'll tell you what the best part is. Because every time somebody looked at that car and it wasn't running right, the first words out of their mouth was, "We need a distributor."
Yeah.
Which means Bill's got to drive back to Scranton again. And
he was ready.
I just did this last weekend. I really didn't want to because I forgot to bring it. My bad. But this wasn't exactly the normal racing weather weekend. So back-to-back weekends, not bummed for.
Yeah, Bill was certainly off his game.
A little bit.
Yeah, no kid.
All right, so Saturday night, I think we better let Tim have the floor because this was your first Lemon Saturday evening. So.
It was light too. It was a very light Saturday night.
Yes, he tagged out in the middle and then he came back in for a full dose though.
Yeah. I went and had a tour of our both of our mutual friend Glenn Robinson's workshop.
Mm-hmm. Future podcast guest. He just doesn't know it yet.
944 aficionado, by the way.
His garage is gorgeous.
His garage is it's cavernous, and it doesn't stop. You just keep walking through another section, and then you make a turn, and there's another garage, and then there's more space beyond that, and then there's it's really nice. He's got a lot of space, and he's really doing nice things with 944s. Yep. So
every picture looks like you can eat off the floor,
and you can. It's exactly that clean. It's exactly that clean, and well lit. I mean, it's perfect. I told him I now have garage envy.
So, got a little jelly there.
But, I think everybody on this call does.
So I returned to our garage at Pit 6, the garage number 6. Mm-hmm. And I pulled open the door, and of course none of my teammates were there for a minute.
Nothing to see there. It's just a normal garage, just a couple cars, no big deal.
I sashayed over to my my beer stash, and I concocted myself a beer with a lime, and I sat down, and then lo and behold, Vicki shows up.
Yep.
And we just smiled and laughed, and of course, many of the other drivers that were in the garage were there, and more came as the night progressed, and some of the antics were just hilarious, stuff that I had never seen before, and certainly didn't expect to see, but it was all in good fun. All in great fun, and
they had rolled up the hot tub, so the hot tub was active.
Hot tub was in full swing. The trampoline was out.
Don't forget croquet in the garage.
Yeah, they had croquet and
they had
lots of music and
tons of music. In fact,
adult humor.
When we were fixing the ECU the night before, or no, was it that? I can't even remember. No, it was the night before, right?
Yeah.
When we were fixing the ECU the night before, they had house music on so loud that I looked at Vicki and I go, I don't think the house music's not making a difference. At this point, it's like, it's got me wanting to fix this. And I was head bopping and figuring out how the ECU was going to go.
Yeah, they were having a good time.
It was so much fun. So much fun. And everybody in the garage came to lend a hand or offer their opinion or their expertise or a tool or whatever it is that we needed. And it was really fun. Really nice group of people. to garage with. They were great.
We had a smoke machine. We had a hot tub. We had other stuff.
Yeah, we'll not mention that stuff.
Right. So some things that will travel with that troubadour group for a long time,
Yeah.
and some earned at the racetrack.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
There's a couple people whose Amazon history I don't want to see. Anyway,
That's right.
so Sunday. Weather cooperated a little bit more. How did that go Sunday? Who started Sunday? Vicki, I think you started.
I did start. I felt confident enough to start the traffic maneuvering, and
right.
it's one of my favorite parts of the race is being number one
Oh,
out there.
yeah.
It sucks from the party night aspect of it, but you know it is the going for initial position and traffic maneuvering, which is one of my favorite things to do. So I felt confident in it. I still played with the car. Because it's a front wheel, I did get a couple loose back ends, and I was happy to say that I caught them. Yay. So I did that about 3 times on my stint when I was out, and that just anchored my confidence even more of, now I can lose traction on this car and I can catch it too, so let's play. My goal for racing, again, is still learning how to drive this front wheel, but I was trying to do it a gear higher. And I was trying to not use my brakes as much and trying to more lift in certain spots than anything. So it was an educational race for me. So, but I enjoyed it. I overall enjoyed it very much.
Okay.
It's very light. It's a very light car.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
I think Alan went next or Tim. I can't remember.
Alan went next.
Alan, how did your race go? I got a black flag. Okay.
Yes.
I went out there. I went really fast. You wouldn't believe how fast I was going.
That's right. That's right.
That was amazing. I literally thought Alan had joined the call just now.
You gotta get the right amount of 10 in your voice, and then you're there. I have to pile on Vicky's thing about starting a race after a Saturday night. I started a lemons race. I think it was my second ever lemons race out at Sonoma. No, this is at Thunderhill. It was in Thunderhill. It was in the middle of the summer. And it was so hot. We all partied the night before. Like I woke up like asleep across the back of the race car or something, like across a cooler in the pits. And one of these things where like I called, these races were close enough for me to go home. I called my wife that night after I'd had like a beer and a half. I was like, I'm probably not coming home.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want to be caught dead with that one beer in you, Ben. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I stayed there and had many more, but I think I had to start or at least go second. I think I was in the second stint. So while all the race engines are firing up and all that smoke is all through the pits, I'm waking up with a huge hangover. I hurled in the porta-john.
The worst place to hurl.
Yeah.
No. The worst place would have been the race car.
Oh yeah.
We had a little bit of that this weekend, but that's a different team, not us. Not us. We're clean.
But this is back in like 2013 when there was still a lot of like full course yellow, that sort of thing. And this is the race where I think like 190 or 200 cars started at Thunderhill. Anyway, I say like to say every time the caution came out, I was in there for like the 10 to 12 stint. I was in the car thinking I was going to throw out. The caution would come out, and I'd just be trying to wave there. I was like, thank God for this caution. Just leave caution out for like 5 laps. I needed the help. So one of the roughest times of my life in the race car. I still dominated, but it was not that fun.
Yeah, no, I never drink to the point of being complicated the next morning. It's usually just tiredness.
Never?
Well, okay, once.
Nice.
Okay. All right. I was just saying.
But I don't think I've ever actually gone into a car with a hangover or nausea. It's usually just because I've just stayed up too late. So it's just like,
yeah.
But
So
I don't sleep very well during race weekends anyway.
So I asked somebody.
I don't ever do that again.
So I asked somebody, have you seen Vicki? And they're like, Vicki, is she the one dressed as Cher? Oh yeah, she's in the hot tub. I'm like, okay.
Fully clothed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
and she
was a
wasn't
night.
Cher. But anyway.
No.
Tim, second go round. You got to sleep on it. How was the second day?
Second day, the weather had improved, not just 180 degrees, but 360 degrees. I mean, it snowed that morning, and I thought, oh crap, here we go again. And then it blew off, and by the time I got on the track, I mean, it was clear blue skies, 2992, everything's working, and that's an aviation term. That it was great. It was,
Yeah.
So you got to release the hounds a little bit in the Honda. How did that go for you?
I did. You'll have to tell me just how much I released the hounds.
Oh, well, let me check my data while you go.
So what was the experience out that way? I mean, there were still a lot of offs, but
well, there were, yeah.
Granted, I think in my instance,
once you dipped one wheel, it was gone.
Yeah.
Me? Yeah, yeah.
It was that much mud. It's
so muddy. And there was so much mud that was being thrown up on the track. And it just seemed like there was a lot of offs. But what it seemed like, at least during my stint, was that the yellow flags were still extensive. But I still think that everybody had yayas. And as soon as that yellow flag would lift, everybody would start fighting for position, and then they would start screwing up. And there were a lot of new teams out there. There was a chunk of new teams, and I'm not saying that those were the people that were out, but of course they were all new builds and stuff like that. But it's just as soon as the clusters would open, and then things would happen, you know. And
I think it was a lot of even a little bit. Like if you missed a little bit, it was, if you got offline too far, or if you dared put a piece of rubber on something that was green or brown. Yeah,
it sucked you right in.
You were done. So a little thing got big.
The 2-3 transition going up that hill coming out of one, right? I mean, I tried to give somebody a little extra room because they were having trouble hold their line. And I got right to the edge of the track, and I put a wheel in the grass there.
Right.
And boy, it woke me right up. It's I didn't do that again the rest of the day.
Right. I, from what I understand, though, I had Three Pedal Mafia was following me in their car, and they were in our garage, and he said that I had my one rear wheel went off, and I threw a slunk of mud right onto his windshield.
Yeah, that happened to me on Saturday, and that's
you had no visibility.
Window cleaned.
Are still dirty, Tim. Just in case you were curious, there is still mud all over that car.
There was so much.
It looked like it was a rally car. It didn't look like a road car. It was like a rally mud all over the car.
So I remember, if everybody remembers, the little foreign car that had all the neon colors on it.
Oh,
it was
okay.
Yeah, it looked like a candy car.
That was the student car.
Yeah, that was a student car, and they were putting it out. They had students in there, and they were so adorable. They were up on the top. They had the one kid up there. He had the radios, and he asked about, the tracker that they have on your phone. And I said, well, they're on this one, Race Monitor or whatever. He goes, you got to pay for that one, don't you? So, but it was so cute because they were going down the straightaway. I don't know who was in the car, but they started throwing the yellow flags again. And they threw the yellow flag right above him or her. And she locked those suckers right up, spun out, went right off into the dirt. Nobody was around them, right? But they just locked those suckers up and went right off into the dirt on the straightaway.
And she couldn't get out because she was in the mud.
Right, they had to pull her out,
I think it was a girl. I think it was a girl in like a purple race outfit or something. I don't know, but it was adorable. I was like, oh,
They were so concerned about making sure they don't miss a flag. She lost her mind on that one. So.
Yeah.
Kind of fun.
It was awesome.
So yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Talk about your stints.
I was gonna segue from there, but go ahead. Yes.
Well, I just had to talk about your stints. So you did 2 stints. You got a little over 4 hours or so, plus or minus, whatever. Your ratio of black flags to hours, though, is less than what I'd expect from an instructor of instructors.
So okay, both my black
we got marked.
Both
experiences. Well, you have to
2?
do something. So
okay. If it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing.
So I'll say this: Lemon's black flag rules are especially tough.
Severe.
In any other racing series that I've ever been in, leaving the racing surface is not a cause to come in and self-report. That's just the grass becomes part of the racing surface. So with those rules, and I understand the reason behind them. With those rules, anytime you leave the racing service, regardless of the reason, or if it was 2 wheels, 1 wheel, or just a half a wheel, you're supposed to self-report.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to be a good steward of the rules, and I turned myself in. And I wound up getting a nickname.
Car tattoo. Car tattoo.
Our car got tattooed.
And a wonderful parting gift from the judges.
Yes.
That they refused to let me on the track with.
Yeah, they stuck something that was not appropriate on the back of our window, and he got called on it.
Yeah, they pulled me off the track.
Mm-hmm.
What color should it be? So what did they nickname you?
It was rainbow color, and and when they pulled me off, I asked, "Well, what color does it need to be?" And the guy said, I can't even discuss this with you. Get off the track."
So what did they nickname you?
Jag.
Oh, right. Is that what was basically tattooed on the side of my car by spray paint?
Yeah, they spray painted the word Jag on my car, short for Jag off.
Because it was in like 15 minutes. You got both of them. It was like boom, boom.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing?
I'm new to the series. The next race probably will be a little bit more liberal in my interpretation of the rule.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be a good steward of the rules. I wanted to play by them, and so I wanted to be conservative and cautious, and
yes,
not
they do so.
Blackballed or banned.
Nope, they do so to make sure. They do so
get blackballed.
Just to make sure everybody remains safe, because there's a lot of new students and a lot of new teams out there, and young teams out there, and fledgling teams even more so.
Right. But counterpoint: never, ever self-report. Make them bring you in because you never know what they're doing. I've never self-reported one time, and I've never kicked me out of the series. Also, separate counterpoint. Before I go scream at dog, I have to go get my dogs out of the backyard for barking. But I would not be anywhere close to as tight or clean of a racer as I am without limits forcing me to be like, I'm going to lose time on track if I don't learn how to do everything I want to do within the confines of the curbs and the surface. And I mean, that paranoia is part of what makes me somebody who is excellent at watching every flag station. I never miss a flag because that's also a competitive element. I'm always watching flags and limits for when the yellow flag disappears. I'm gone like John Force. So that's what's got me hyper focused on flags, but it pays off in all other aspects of traffic because I'm just so trained like Pavlov's dog to see the flags every time. And also I'm so paranoid about losing time on track. I've learned to just get my shit done between the painted corners because you're right. Half a wheel off, you're going to have to go in and get bitched at. I don't want that.
Right. And with that mindset, I think I'll adopt a little bit more of a liberal attitude towards exactly what
you can. You totally can.
Right. So
it was hard not to get your wheel in the mud because the mud was all over the track.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Gosh. It was so
on
much.
The window or on the track.
It was all of the above. Thank you.
So much.
All right. So my streak comes to an end.
Yeah, Bill, you went in. How did yours go?
I went in.
So tell us about your epic last.
Bill was last in.
I went in twice. I went in twice for black flags. The first time I'm going by start finish, and they're black flag, and they're pointing it straight at me. Car 666, you suck. And I'm sitting there going, I'm not car 666. Why are they mad at me? But anyway. So I go around the track halfway, and then another guy's pointing it straight at me. Car 666. Whatever I did, I'm like, so I go in, I start talking to Eric, and Eric's like, why are you here? And I'm like, I don't know. They kept pointing car 666 and black flagging me and pointing it straight at me, and I'm the only car there. And I don't know. I don't think I should be here, but since rules are rules. You say black flag, you pointed at me, I'm coming in to say hi. And he's like, get out of here. Because 666 was right behind me. So anyway, so talk to Eric a little bit. It was fun.
616, 666,
it's all the same.
Visit to the black flag.
I mean, one's the Marvel comic universe, one's got something to do with the devil. Slight differences here or there, but whatever. At least I didn't get it confused with 999 because the car was upside down, so that's good.
Right.
And then
And then
I got to come in for a real black flag. My black flag streak ends at like 2+ years. And my all-time life streak of never touching a car ends.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Well, the sad trombones are still blaring across the fields of PittRace, which, Ben, you haven't been there yet. You need to come up on.
Not yet. Yeah, I hear everybody loves that track. Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, it's fun.
It is. All right. So let's talk about PittRace. PittRace has, well, it all started going down into the hole of 5-6. So we're going down into the hole of 5-6. We're in a cluster of cars, and there's a few cars ahead of me that most of them I can get by. It's not a big deal. And then you come out of the big hole of 5-6, and you're going up the hill, and I pass like 2 of them, and then there's 2 more in front of me, and then after that's a series, there's a right-hander and then a series of S's, and then you start to come around and you get to the top of the hill, and you have what's a blind right-hand turn with a lot of curbing on the inside, and you really should be flat, and you really should turn in before you can see anything. So it's probably the last turn on that track you're going to get as a comfort, just because there's so many things going against you. The track falls away from you. You can't see. There's nothing to visually look at. You're supposed to be going flat. You turn in kind of blindly. You just kind of, and you just hope the track's still there when you get down to the bottom. So I'm right behind the one car, and he's a little slower than we are. Not a lot, but a little slower. And so he doesn't turn in time. So he ends up going a little wide, and then he gets into the green stuff, and then he comes all the way across the track. Did I say all the way?
All the way
across the track.
Like one side to the other, kind of.
Yeah,
across, right?
yeah, it was great. Now I'm going down the biggest, longest straightaway, downhill, flat out, and I see the car go all the way left, and I'm like, okay, he's going off left. We're good. Because normally the first thing you do is when you're out in the middle of nowhere is 2 feet in, try to keep it straight when you're in grass, especially when it's mud, right? He tried to save it though. So that's when he came back. And I kept thinking he's going to stop soon because, 2 feet in, you stop pretty quick. He didn't stop. And I was like 10 feet away from not hitting him, but I did. Couldn't stop, couldn't get out of the way. There was just nothing left for me. And then I ended up sitting there looking up the hill going, oh, please, people see me. And they did. And then we went in. My team was lovingly not on the radio and did not give me my chance to vent before I got into the garage, which was bad timing on their part because I needed to experience my Jersey venting while driving.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we kept you. Well, actually, you got out of the car. I told you get right back in the goddamn car.
Yeah, we fixed him, sent him right back out.
We fixed him up and I said, go finish the race.
Yep, which we did. I actually saw our friends in the car who I've talked to today, and gave him a big wave out the side. As I think their car might have a little bit more damage, like mechanical damage, than us. We just lost some bodywork and headlights and lights. I think I already found everything. They're going to call me back tomorrow.
Oh wow.
So we should be good. We'll be back. Theme will be in full force for our next race with that car, which will be at New Jersey in June. So that'll be fun.
You're going to paint, Vicki, sorry to interrupt. Vicki, you going to paint a Band-Aid on the front for him?
Nah, I'm probably just going to do a whole paint match, either that or wrap it. I got to figure out what kind of parts we get. But I kind of figured that I'm going to wait. I'll probably be back in the shop on Wednesday, and I'm probably just going to start taking all the parts off and then see how far down, see what kind of damage we have, see what we can bend back into place and what we have to replace.
I have a whole front end and hood, all the body parts.
That would probably be good just in case for future parts, because we're going to have this for a while.
Hopefully. That is the plan, but I'm bummed.
I'm
bummed. I hate having contact. I hate it. It drives me bad.
Yeah. But having experienced that myself, I can tell you there's no better way to deflate the weekend than that. But the coming back, getting back on track and taking the checker really does boost.
Yeah.
Looking back at it, I think I probably could have got out of it, but I didn't. And it's not like an error thing. It's like a probability thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
I did what I could. I thought I could get out. I thought it would stop. I thought I could go by, and then it just kept going. And then the only thing I had left was threshold brake. And I was like, if he would have slid down the track 10 feet as opposed to across the track 10 feet, I probably wouldn't have touched him. We just would have parked in the middle of the street. But
right.
What else?
Can you assume Lemons racers know what both feet in is? 2 feet in is?
I am
it could
going
be your first day. It could be your first day in a race car in a Lemons race, right?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it wasn't their first day, but they didn't do it because they thought they could save it. But that's, I mean, people do that sometimes. I think I'm going to talk to them and see.
I just don't give everybody that much credibility at all. You know what I'm saying? Like I just assume everybody out there, even if it's a team I relatively know pretty well, you never know if they got a new person in the car. Just a specific thing to Lemons, because it could be your first time at a racetrack in a race car. So I just assume nobody's got the skills. I just give everybody a little more room in Lemons than I would.
Well, just in case they don't, we're going to have a Dominating with Dawson coming to you soon on what 2 feet in means.
That's right. That's a good one.
It will be returning soon to a podcast near you.
So all in all, Bill, how was your weekend? Besides that,
much better personally than I made it through the weekend prior, which was all. I think it comes.
Shall we discuss our trailer?
Oh yeah, we did. It's on here. I got it.
Okay.
I think it turns out that it was a combination of overtired, over driving on the highway, and overtired, and probably a little bit of dehydration that led to my bad weekend the weekend before. And this weekend, I was very conscious of drinking way too much because I might as well put a tent in the bathroom. I was drinking so much, and making sure
he
I
means
got enough
water.
Right. I don't drink. So if you guys want to go out somewhere, just let me know. I'll be your designated driver. It's not a problem. So, and then making sure I got enough sleep. So I was overly cautious with my sleep this weekend, and it turned out better. So
yeah, everybody was wondering where Bill was constantly, and they're like, oh, he's napping. And
I only napped once a day.
Right. But it was always the time when everybody was asking where you were. Not our team.
Well, that's fine.
Like
I had my radio and I had my phone. I was good.
Yes. Bill was definitely off his game this weekend.
A little slower than normal, but
yeah.
So, thoughts on how the weekend went? Any surprises on or off track? Tim, since you're the Lemons newbie, you get to go first because everything was basically a surprise once you got off the track at a Lemons race.
Right. I was pleasantly surprised at the quality of driving that people showed, especially on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Very, very pleasantly surprised. The abilities that late in the race of those that were still left in the race is pretty high. So that was fun. I really enjoyed it. Lots of really good, clean, courteous racing with a lot of high speed and a lot of pace that was blistering. Mm-hmm. I still need to know what my pace was. I think I got a little bit from Alan. I have
the wrong phone, but you were right in line with everybody. You did well. Okay. The phone I need is in the car still.
Got it.
I looked at my phone. I'm like, let me check it. No, I got the wrong Apex.
So I felt good. I think we had moved up a handful of spots or so.
I think we finished 40th.
Right.
Yeah.
But in our class, we were like
middle.
Yeah, 18. Okay. But that's how we wanted to go in, and under the conditions.
Shakedown
it's a shakedown weekend, and under the conditions that everybody was racing, I am happy the car came home.
Yeah. I mean, we had Tim had a couple black flags. We had the neither day did we exactly start off on the right foot, and we had an accident on the end of Sunday. So I mean, 40 is pretty good for that. There was 110 cars that started, so that hits our target. Any other surprises for you, sir?
No, it was the community there is unique, and it was a pleasant surprise. It was I didn't know what to expect, and frankly I didn't have expectations either way. I didn't know. I was really there to experience the racing. I didn't go into it knowing that it was going to be the atmosphere that it is,
Did you feel welcome?
I totally felt welcome.
Because you fit right in. You did. You did.
And we'd like to thank you for all the help that you did, because
oh my gosh,
it was needed, especially with me on partial throttle. So I was on maintenance throttle this weekend. So
listen, well done. It was a real group effort, and that was nice. It was a real, you guys have a team, and it's apparent that you're a team, and that was fun. That was really fun.
Your son was a last minute no show due to car troubles. I think he missed out.
He did, and I've sent him multiple texts and pictures, okay. and he is absolutely regretting his decisions.
If he was a couple of years older, I would have mentioned the option of a rental car, but
I mean, he's getting there.
I let him be. It was fine.
Yeah. So no, he's absolutely wanting to attend if we're ever invited back. You're
invited. Both of you are.
Right. Well,
Tim.
He's looking forward to it.
I have an idea. Team Fokeen.
Oh, I like that.
Race truck.
Race truck. Just what I need. My wife is very tolerant of my racing habit. I currently have 3 projects in the garage.
This one's ready.
But I probably need to get rid of at least one before I can add another to the stable.
How about this? We prep it for you and drive it to New Jersey for you, and you do the weirdest arrive and drive ever, where you arrive and drive your own vehicle that's been prepared for you.
Will you house it?
I can hold it for you for a while. No one needs to know. No one needs to know. There's nothing to see here. We can talk.
You're gonna do Jedi mind tricks, right?
Don't teach him your bad habits.
These aren't the race trucks you're looking for.
Don't teach him your bad habits.
But
this isn't a race car. It's really a truck.
This is not the race truck you're looking for. Anyway, what about you, Miss Vicki? Any surprises on or off?
I was utterly surprised by the weather.
It was lovely.
And I'm really happy that our daughter did not come, because she would have been completely miserable. Again, the community out there always surprises me, and I love seeing our friends. We had an incident where our trailer was broken and wasn't actively being repaired. And then by the time we had to start work on our car for the evening, just some last minute stitching stuff up, we did not have our gear that we needed, and it just meant further unloading our stuff, and by that time it was pretty late, and everybody was just, here, take this, just use this, and everybody was so welcoming, took very good care of their stuff, made sure everybody got their stuff back. But it still amazes me just how well the community comes together. Winning is one aspect of it. It's not about the win. It's about just going out and having a great weekend with your friends and just racing and having fun. Nobody's there for, sponsorship, trophies. I mean, trophies are fun, but nobody's there for the win.
The best offers a trophy for everything.
Oh my God, right? Nobody's there. I don't think anybody's there just for the win. They're just there to have fun, and they have fun.
They do.
Yeah,
so
I'd agree.
It always amazes me.
That's a good point, Vicki. It's more about the community than it is about the competitiveness. Although the competitiveness is absolutely an aspect of it, because everybody's there. Everybody's there to do that. But for sure, that the community, with that, as somebody that was an outsider, was very welcoming to me. Somebody that they put their arms around me, fed me, made me drink, threw things at me, made me feel like I was absolutely part of the group. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and again, I just love going out there. Yes. Saturday night we also had a lovely potluck dinner, and it came with a full working bar, which I think they were sampling, a coconut fruity drink. Yeah, I don't know, but that was fun. Everybody got a chance to go out and talk,
Old
and
pig. Don't forget the pig.
they had they had a roast pig,
That was
and
delicious, by the way.
it was. And the nice thing was this time around too is that made sure that everybody contributed. So there was a constant. Everybody got some. Everybody got something. Everybody was fed. So that was really good.
Them love the could be empanada, could be knishes, could be I'm not sure what part of the world
They
it came
were
from.
amazing.
Yeah.
Whoever
So-
made those, another golf clap. I'm snapping my fingers. they were
The
delicious.
food was delicious. It was. I know like a whole big bowl, like a big bowl of guacamole came up. Everybody was just like, yes, for guacamole. It was lovely. They had a tap beer. They had music. It was just a great time. And I would have to say the first one out was a success.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I even snuck a power drink. They were giving out these Italian power drinks. I put one in my pocket and I actually drank it on the way home. It was really good.
Yeah.
That
You drank
5-hour
it when
drive
you were
was much
parked
nicer.
on the
Yeah.
way home. I remember taking a picture of that. But anyway,
Yeah.
uh,
It's serious racing without being too serious.
it
Right.
is. It's measured.
That's right.
Okay. Any driving skill, track knowledge, learning anything from the weekend, Miss Vicki? It was your first time in a
first
front wheel
time.
drive.
Front wheel drive, again, I kept telling myself the car is pulling and not pushing. I was able to get onto the gas pedal a lot earlier than I would on a rear wheel drive race truck. Normally, when I'm going through the turns, I usually have to
Tim's rear wheel drive race truck.
Yeah, that was
Future.
Okay.
So I normally with the race truck, I would have to, do my inputs and make sure I probably got around the apex is when I would, depending on conditions. And once I get past the apex is when I would really start punching it normally for me. But this one allowed me to get on way before the apex.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to keep reminding myself that. So I was able to catch the car. Go ahead.
Ben, your baby bird's all grown up.
I know.
It's so cool. Nice when they just kind of can float out of the nest on their own.
That's right.
That's
So, able to catch the car at least 3 times, which was a boost of confidence. And the other thing that I learned was, racing the higher gear and just remembering the gear match. These are things on our one episode that I learned from Ross Bentley. That I should be practicing, and they really came in handy. And after I started really getting comfortable, especially into the second day on my stint, and then I started playing with traffic. I really started fighting for position at that point, and
Oh yeah.
and making sure, looking for the trains, and if I could find the trains, I was trying to keep up with the trains, and then following the path out.
Did you go hatchback hunting since you couldn't go truck hunting?
I started to. But I wasn't sure if somebody had a K-swap, so because he was really flying.
There was at least one K-swap there. That
Yeah,
white
I could
Civic
tell.
was K-swapped, yeah.
Yeah, the white Civic and the I think it was an Omni, maybe.
There was a
or
former
Colt. I couldn't keep up with that thing. It was just like whoosh.
yeah, there was a former Bob Ross car, which is now I think Mr. T. And then there was another car that was out there, and I started to, but they seemed like they had a lot going on underneath the hood, so I didn't overly chase them right now because I didn't think I was ready quite yet. So
Our garage
Can you
mates were
race a
fun.
K? Can you race a K swap in limits without getting a ton of laps these days?
Yes,
They probably got a bunch of laps.
Nope.
Jesus.
you can go
I know
A0.
he lapped me.
A0.
No, I mean penalty laps from limits at the start. I wonder what they'll penalize these days. I've seen some fast stuff in limits races lately.
I'm thinking it depends on how pretty it is and how big you bribe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, bribe it helps a lot too.
Yes,
I forgot
those-
how
those
arbitrary it
cars are-
was.
It also
Cars are certainly
how many times
deceptive.
have you brought it? Like the first time you may get
Right.
knuckle busted, but then you earn your way in. But that's fine. Anything on the track? Anything you guys learn about the track?
I don't think
I know
anything
you-
different for me.
I know you did. You told me about it on the way home last night.
I did.
Going into 5 and 6. The downhill, uphill.
Yeah. I know that. Oh, for me, that I had a habit of losing the back end. Was that we were
Hmm.
talking about?
Hmm.
Yeah. So I had learned on this track racing this particular car that I would braking going into it. I was front loading. So if I didn't hit it just right, my back end would slide. So I had
Mm.
to step on it a lot earlier. So I wouldn't have to worry about that. And then, the other thing is I kept making sure that I didn't look at the apex going into the bowl and make sure I look at my exit strategy. And then I was able to really grab the car and go because I actually started to lose it in the bowl
Hmm.
once, I think, and I made sure I
What
didn't
turn?
happen again.
5-6.
The seven,
Yeah,
oh, 5-6. Okay.
yeah, because it's easy to front load going in there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, she's
That's
saying
a, that's
she's
a,
saying bowl, but I think she's mispronouncing bowel.
No,
so,
no, no, no
and
mispronunciation on that one.
honestly, when I had gone off, it was right around there that I had gone off in the snow.
Hmm.
yeah.
So,
There was a lot of excitement down in that turn 4, 5, 6 complex.
yeah.
Hmm.
At one point we were in the snow going down there, and it was one of the only laps that might have been green flag racing. We were 4 wide, and I knew this was a bad idea. So I pulled the plug early, and I
Yeah,
stepped on the brake, and it just kept going.
Hmm.
yeah. Four go in, but four's not coming out. So
No
Yeah.
way, no
yeah,
way, no
yeah.
way.
You know
But
what?
that's
You
a
know what?
that's a that's a drive hard, brake hard, turn early turn.
Yeah.
Brake straight too in the
Yeah,
front wheel drive.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
This weekend was just learning how to drive that car and,
you know
and
what
working up
bothered
my
me?
speed.
The I love all the flag stand people. They're fantastic. I even love the one at 5-6. He's great, awesome dude. His car looks like a black flag though. His truck.
Doesn't it?
He
Doesn't
Oh
it?
man.
It's like close your
Yeah.
tailgate because it looks like a black flag
Right.
because he parks it off
Yep,
to the side a little bit and there's this little
Hmm.
yep,
square sticking out and the line is
Yep.
black.
I noticed that too. I was like,
yeah.
geez.
I
But I
I
Close
do
the
I, I
have,
caught
tailgate.
myself a couple times the same.
and I got to tell you, those black flaggers, they were on point
Hmm.
this weekend.
Yeah,
They were
yeah,
so good. And for what they had to endure for the
Yeah.
weather wise, I mean, but I do have to say that we've been to tracks before when the flaggers were so busy conversing that they aren't throwing the flags.
They were pointing the wrong way,
Yeah,
talking to each other.
or the stations weren't aligned.
Hmm.
These people were on track. I mean, with
So
everything, they were good.
no doubt. And when they red flagged my last session, and it was for about a good 10 minutes. There was a wreck at the top of the crest of 13, and I couldn't see it, but I was stopped right in front of the red flag station, or right in front of the corner station.
Hmm.
And of course, they red flagged it, and everybody was. I expected to see a lot of sideways cars, but none of that happened. Um,
Hmm.
and so everybody got offline, and I parked so that I could see them, and they were really good at giving us a heads up that things were progressing. And
Hmm.
just by, hey, giving us the wave, or getting the yellow flag, holding it next
Hmm.
to the red flag but not unfurling it, really gave
Hmm.
us lots of time to get ourselves back in the game, get our heads right, start the car, make sure everything was good, and then start racing again. It was a great job.
So I also do want to point out about I'm not sure if the hand signal is a legit hand signal for the racers, but I do want to throw it out the appreciation of when those yellow flags are thrown, especially double yellow flags, and the racers are coming, the drivers in the rear are throwing out their
Mhm.
hands and saying, slow down. They're waving to the traffic behind them who aren't seeing coming up. I don't know if that's a legit hand signal,
Yes.
but I greatly appreciate for the fact that that was being done because there was a lot of cars on the track and there was a lot of racers coming up quick behind them, but everybody was on their best behavior, and that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I agree. That was good. That
Yep.
that,
Hmm.
that was really helpful in the back straight
Hmm.
when you were coming out of that complex really fast,
Because
and
there's a
then all
lot of
that traffic.
blind going in.
Right, a lot of that traffic was really you know uh, just held up. There was a lot of
Hmm.
compression going into the turn, and so yeah, that was. I'd agree. I've
Hmm.
never seen that signal before, but I've never raced with a car that didn't have a window net. So,
Right.
You know,
So they were throwing out awareness to the people behind them. So,
Mhm.
good group effort for Lemons.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, what did we do better than last time? Tim, you can't answer that because you weren't there. Or what can we improve, which you definitely can answer.
Oh, okay. Since I'm here for this one, let me get my yawn out of the way, my post racing.
There
What we
goes
could do better.
non-edited event. Thanks.
I know, sorry. We could do better. We did not go into this race very clear-headed.
Prepared.
But well, yeah, the car was pretty prepared, but Alan wasn't able to come up suddenly for the last part, or we would have had everything else buttoned up.
Was it almost done?
It was almost done.
Almost done.
It was.
Kills me. Go ahead.
I know it was, but Alan was due to come up for one more day, but then they had scheduled a trip.
Life happens.
Life stepped in the way, and Alan usually has to travel like 2.5 hours to get here every week. He stays for one full day, and then I usually kind of tinker right after him. So I greatly appreciate his help. He does an awesome job. We worked really, really well together on this particular car. We were very, very organized in the garage when it came to the work itself. But we ran out of time with Alan's sudden schedule. So we knew these light things that have to be buttoned up. But at the same time, that as a team, we really weren't on our game. Bill was still pretty exhausted from his last race, so his part of
we didn't have our
race,
stuff too.
Right, half our stuff was still at the track. What did we have at the track? What did we not have a track? We had a broken trailer that was still at the track. But we quickly as a team gathered what we need for that. But in the process, and Bill's exhaustion from the week before, his part of it was off. So there's some things that we had forgotten to grab on the way out, which fortunately we did not need.
Like a distributor.
Yeah, distributor. We didn't get a chance to pack the hubs, and we wanted to make sure we had suspension parts just in case. Right, and even the wiring. But, we got there, we quickly got everything lined up, and the car was done going out, which was great. But, I mean, other than that, I don't really foresee a lot of problem. I would say that make sure that everything is done the night before, because the little hiccups that we had make it to the start line on grid, because we had a wire fall off when we were trying to hook up our
USB charger.
The USB charger. That should have been the night before. But, make sure that we get that stuff done. We also know that I don't have enough bolts in my ECU, so I'll be addressing that and probably taking a second ECU just in case, but I don't know if that's really going to matter because it's not set for the car properly, so.
It might be. We don't know. We don't know what we have, so it's kind of
Yeah.
Tim, how about some fresh eyes? What do you think? What could we do better? What could we improve? We're definitely not perfect.
No, I don't think anybody's perfect. I think even if you go to a pro racing event, you'll see imperfections and chinks in the armor. So at the same time, you'll never be perfection, but that's why you go, right? Because each time is better than the last. And then when you progress, that's growth. That's fun. You guys worked really well. There's lots of lists that you guys have. I love the morning brief. Okay, here's where we are at 8:00. This is what the plan is for the day. Whether or not it holds up is always up in the air, right?
TBD, right?
Right. But it really does.
Best laid plans.
But it really does level set expectations for the first part of the race in the morning, and really puts you in a mindset for the day. I like that. As an organized person in my professional life, I really appreciate that pre-briefing. I also like the car handoff part. This is going good. This is going good. Watch out for this. Watch out for that. That was really good. And then the debrief after the race was fun as well. So all those were really good, bright, shiny parts for me to watch.
Mm-hmm. You're going to do any of that for your, you usually do trek races mostly.
Yeah. And I'll carry, I like your whiteboard. I really do. And I really like your dual use gas pan.
Mhm.
With the there were lots of really cool nuggets for me to take away to improve my performance and my organization when I race without you guys. And so I'll definitely be doing a little artwork on the bottom of my catch can.
Yeah, it helps.
Hey, Vicki.
Yeah.
You know what we just did?
What?
We
You
have
just recruited somebody else?
we have confirmation that we were an example of what to do. Finally.
Oh, that's awesome. So I just want to say that I think that as a team this weekend we worked extremely well together. Even Tim New Guy, as Alan called him, he fit right in, and he was an asset to the team this weekend. Excellent work on you, Tim, too. Thank you so much. You were. It was as if that you were just a solid member. You fit right in, and you just rolled with it.
Would have been better though
Why?
if we had a Reese.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, a Reese's cup can never be wrong.
Never.
Yeah,
Especially a frozen one. They're
You can
fantastic.
never go wrong with a Reese's cup.
Yeah.
All right. So, Tim, this was your first Lemons race. Any memorable teams, cars, themes? Anything stick out?
Oh, there were so many good themes.
Oh,
There
yeah,
were.
the themes were really good. The one that I really enjoyed was the Penn State college guys, the Super Trooper group. They were hysterical. They were hysterical.
And they were cold.
Space Pants was good, but the Super Trooper thing was that did it for me. That did it for that was good. I really
what about
enjoyed
the one with the wet dog that was on the top of the car that was whistling?
that thing, and I guess apparently he doesn't understand what that noise is.
Right, but we thought it was a dog. We thought it was actually the dog.
I thought it was a pig.
It's the car, and they can't figure out why it's doing that, but it was perfect.
Yeah, and of course everybody.
Okay.
Everybody was whistling, making the same noise as the car at the at the trophy ceremony.
All right, let's end it, people. Great weekend. Everybody had fun. Traditional, good, bad, and the ugly.
Good for me. Great teamwork. Bad for me. The weather. Ugly for me was being dumped on by snow and then having my ECU burn.
Wet.
It was wet.
Yes.
Yeah, because I knew that there was something going on with the car, and they thought it was just me losing traction coming up. I'm like, nope, there's something wrong with the car, and I was right. So
just ask me. She always is. Tim, good, bad, and the ugly.
Good for me was the bad weather.
Yeah.
I really I got that driving stint. Of course, nobody knew what we were going to look at, but it was a great experience to drive in all of those conditions. There's nothing left to throw at me other than maybe some falling meteorites.
There might have been some. That pail was pretty big.
Right. Hot lava, maybe next.
Maybe that's about it.
But that was a good lesson. It was a great takeaway for me. Bad was for me probably overanalyzing the rule set.
Shocking.
trying to be a good steward, I think I could have got away with, and not that you want to get away with it, but I think I self-reported in an instance where I didn't have to, and I got your car a tattoo. So
no worries.
But I did receive an excellent gift in the meantime.
Yes, you did.
Right. So and that was bad. That was good. Ugly. There was no ugly. How can there was. It was a great experience overall. I had a great time. I met new people, made new friends, and learned many things about driving in the process. And
you got a Garage Heroes in Training team driver sticker.
That's right. I got that. I got some T-shirts. I got some swag. I got a really cool water bottle, hydro flask.
Yep.
Our swag game's stronger than our driving game.
How about you, Bill?
Good. I think you guys covering for me a bit. I wasn't 100% of my normal, and do appreciate it. Team pulled together very nicely. Bad, I think, was our sister team, the Skunk Oil Racing.
Oh yeah.
Saturday was not good. They had a little incident with some Armco, and then ugly was Sunday's incident with the Armco in the same spot, same car. So luckily everybody's good. Hopefully everybody's still good, and I'm sure we've got a couple sore teammates, and I'm not sure if the car is coming back or not, but we'll see. But this happens, and then we can't end the episode without a long overdue big time congratulations to Whoa Back Betty Rambatan.
Wow.
Coming in first, starting the season off, came in first overall, first in A. Welcome to that's it. We don't have anything better than A. Staying in A.
Yeah, I'd like to add to that. So there's a little wager that's going on between the Momraths, which is the BMW Amanda's team, and Black Betty, and that they are competing with each other for a winner all season. And as it goes, whoever wins has to paint a panel of the other car's color on their own car. So now Amanda has to paint two more panels, or one more panel. She's already got one on there. Now she's got to paint another of Black Betty's color on her car, and her car's slowly being converted. So we're going to see how this year ends.
You're the worst car ever.
No, you're the worst car ever.
Anyway, congratulations to those guys. That makes the Honda has a first place. Black Betty has a first place. To our friends and the boys in the Cressida, you got to complete the set, guys. Come on. I gave you an engine from CMP. Let's see it. I want to see it. It'll be awesome. Rooting for everybody. Everybody had a great weekend. Tim, thank you for coming. Always welcome.
Pleasure. Thank you for having us.
No, never a problem, sir. Miss Vicki, you did great prepping the car.
Thanks.
You quite the trooper, and appreciate everything. And to Alan, who is traveling with family, this was your best podcast episode ever, Alan. Nice job.
Oh wow.
Ben's impression is uncanny. Say goodbye, Ben.
Yeah.
As Alan though.
Guys, thanks so much for having me. It was a great race. Yeah, I gotta get out of here. I got a bunch of crap to do back at the house. I'll see you later.
That's right.
That's brilliant.
The only thing wrong with your impersonation, Ben, your internet didn't fail.
That's awesome.
I've never met that guy one time.
But you got it. That's good.
You nailed it.
All right. Very well.
You're welcome.
Everybody, we had a great weekend. Hope everybody else did. Hope all the cars get repaired and everybody's racking running some more. There's closest race to PittRace will be in June. There's one for Gingerman for those going west, and there's one in New Jersey for those going east. And should be fun.
Hold on a second, everybody.
Mr. Dawson.
Vicki, what is on your arm?
I still have my race bracelets. I just noticed.
She hasn't gotten out of
them
bed
off yet. I slept all day. I was so tired.
Oh, that's cool.
Well deserved. Well, you earned it.
All right, everybody. Thank you. Thanks for coming, Tim. Thanks for putting up with us again, Ben.
Thanks again, guys. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Right.
Have a great night, everybody.
You too. Bye.
Captain's Log Supplemental.
Once you start racing, you'll start to know that the more information your driver can have, the better. One of the things that we found is that the Sentinel system allows you to be able to not only get your driver the information that they need, but also be able to share the information with the pit and anybody who's got internet availability. You can integrate your AIM data. You can integrate the driver tag, as in who is the driver in the car. You can also integrate in your standings and who is ahead or behind of you into the dash, as well as be able to see flag statuses in case there's a yellow flag or a red flag or a black flag. Hopefully none of those, but they do happen. This was developed by a fellow racer, former guest, James Candelaria, and he is seeing a lot of people using it in the SCCA, WRL, AER, and we are doing demos at our paddocks whenever we are at the track. It could be at a race or it could be at an HBD. If you're interested and want to come in and see how it is, we can give you a demo. And if you find that it's something that would be helpful to your racing, please use our discount code, which will save you 10% on anything that you buy. And it is creatively GHIT, GHIT, for Garage Heroes and Training. So hopefully you will find that the Sentinel system is as useful for your racing as we have found it for ours.